Episode 9 is often described as a film that will be full of action, adventure, chaos, and sacrifice as a way to end the sequel trilogy in a very action-packed way by writer and director J.J. Abrams and crew. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing I will say that I'm very excited about for Episode 9 is, of course, the action sequences that are to be inserted into this movie that is actually going to surpass both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. It's often described that J.J. Abrams is going out with a bang with this movie in order to really make this film stand out from the previous two. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with one of the major sequences based within the second act of the film. Specifically, a description of Kylo Ren leading an army of red stormtroopers that are dubbed as Sith Troopers. It's described that Kylo is leading them in a similar fashion to when Anakin was leading the troopers in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The red troopers are described to have blaster rifles with metallic rods attached to their backs that are said to be weapons of some kind. Another description goes over Kylo Ren ordering the Sith troopers using the metallic rods against a resistance base. It's described that these rods are like bow and arrows of the Star Wars universe, where the weapons have a pulley system to the back. It's described to be a major sequence in the second act and is said to be more intense than the Battle of Geonosis from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Another goes over an army of the Red Troopers, also known as the Sith Troopers, colliding into an army of pirates, resistance fighters, and other creatures carrying blasters. It's described to be a scene like from the end of The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers battle sequence. It's said that the sequence was filmed over in Cardington and took over 1 month to shoot the sequence. Lastly, it's described a sequence was shot for Adam Driver, in which Kylo is sprinting in a fit of rage, slicing his way through an army of pirates and resistance fighters and soldiers. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I am very excited for this scene to be actually inserted into Episode 9. Now, not only does this match the whole entire concept of Episode 9 being a war to end all wars and basically an all-out war, but it also matches J.J. Abrams. We do know that he's going out with a bang with Episode 9 as a way to really end the sequel trilogy on his own terms. And that to me sounds pretty ambitious if you guys had to ask me, that he's really trying to give us pure action in this movie. It almost sounds like that they're doing something on the level of the end of Avengers Infinity War. Classic movie, by the way, if you guys have seen it. So it seems as though that they are trying to do something around those lines, where Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to take a lot of, hints, of course, from what they should use from Avengers Infinity War in Star Wars Episode 9. Whether or not that's a good or a bad idea, I'm not quite sure, but overall, guys, I am buying this sequence. I love it. Now, the Red Stormtroopers, we've been hearing about them for quite a long time now, about a month or so now, and now they're actually called Sith Troopers, apparently. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, why they would even be called Sith Troopers, unless that's a code name for the actual troopers in Episode 9. But why would they be red, right? Could very well be that it's a way of symbolism that they are relentless and pretty much, are non-stop when it comes to what they need to do to get the job done. I also want to go over these new weapons that are attached to the back of course, the Sith Troopers, the backs of the Sith Troopers, using these rods that have a pulley system in the back that actually act as bow and arrows in the Star Wars universe in Episode 9. Again, we do know that JJ and Chris Terrio really want to implement a lot of medieval elements in this movie, and what better way to do this than to actually have these Sith Troopers using these metallic rods with pulley systems in the back where they have to actually stretch them and pull them back and let go, just like bow and arrows work in, of course, medieval times. So these most likely are, blasters or maybe even primitive versions of blasters that shoot explosive material at the resistance base that causes a lot of destruction and a lot of rubble. Now, it's also described that this sequence is based after a scene from Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I don't know if you guys ever saw that film, but the final battle sequence is basically, of course, modeled after that sequence in Lord of the Rings, the final battle of the second act of Episode 9. So this is all based within the middle of the movie, and we're already getting a lot of action inserted into the film. So what's great about JJ is that it seems that, now that there's not going to be, a lot of conflict for the character of Luke Skywalker, he wants to go all out for the characters of Kylo Ren and Rey. And that leads us to that sequence in which Adam Driver shot a sequence over in Cardington where he was running towards an army of pirates and resistance troopers and, of course, soldiers, slicing his way through using his crossguard lightsaber in a fit of rage. Now, this whole entire sequence was said to be shot over 1 whole month, alright? 1 whole month's worth of shooting for Episode 9 over in Cardington. Now, not only does that tell us that this scene is going to be of quality, but it really is going to show exactly how much detail J.J. Abrams was willing to put into this sequence for Episode 9. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.